Most people need proof. They need to see improvement. They need to feel growth. They need visible signs that effort is working. Without progress, they lose patience. They start questioning everything. But something changed in you. You continued. Without seeing progress, people expect effort to show results quickly. They expect improvement to be obvious. When it isn't, they assume something is wrong. They assume they're failing. You didn't. Strength builds quietly. Muscle adapts before it shows. Endurance increases before it feels easy. Technique improves before it looks clean. Most people quit right before change becomes visible. You stayed. They need numbers, mirrors, compliments, validation. Without feedback, effort feels pointless. You trained without confirmation. That separated you. You stopped asking, "Did I improve today? Did this make a difference? Am I getting better?" You focused on execution. You let accumulation do the work. Growth often plateaus before it advances. This phase feels discouraging. Most people interpret it as failure. You recognized it as preparation. Anyone can push when improvement is obvious. Few can endure when nothing changes. That endurance is mental strength. You trained it daily. Effort is not a transaction. You don't always get paid instantly. Sometimes effort compounds silently. You accepted delayed returns. They chase novelty. They switch programs. They restart constantly. You stayed consistent when nothing exciting happened. That consistency created depth, nervous system adaptation, structural strength, recovery efficiency. Progress was happening below the surface. You trusted the process. Without proof, stagnation is uncomfortable. It removes reward. It tests commitment. You didn't escape it. You trained inside it. Careers stall. Bodies plateau. Goals pause. People who quit here never reach the next level. You didn't. They mistake silence for failure. You learned silence is part of growth. You continued without seeing progress. You didn't need proof. You didn't need confirmation. You didn't need reassurance. You stayed. That's rare, because progress is addictive. But commitment without progress is powerful. And once you learn to keep going, when nothing seems to change, nothing can stop you. Not plateaus. Not slow phases. Not invisible effort. Progress will return. But now it's optional. There is a phase almost nobody talks about. Not the beginning. Not the breakthrough. The middle. The silent middle. This is where effort produces no visible change. Where days look the same. Where nothing feels different. Where improvement hides. And this is where most people leave. They don't quit because it's hard. They quit because it's quiet. Silence feels like failure to an impatient mind. No feedback. No reward. No signal that says, "This is working." Just repetition. Most people interpret silence as wasted effort. They think, if nothing is changing, why continue? And so they stop right before change happens. But you stayed. You learned that progress does not announce itself. It doesn't knock loudly. It doesn't show up on schedule. Sometimes it works underground. The gym makes this obvious. Muscle grows before it shows. Strength increases before it feels easy. Coordination improves before it looks smooth. The work happens first. The evidence comes later. But the mind wants proof. The mind wants reassurance. And when it doesn't get it, it panics. That panic tells people to switch plans, to restart, to chase something new. Anything to feel movement again. You didn't chase noise. You stayed with silence. That decision is where real strength forms. Because silence strips effort of ego. You're no longer working to feel good. You're working because you decided to stay. Continuing without progress teaches patience. But more than that, it teaches trust. Trust in the process. Trust in time. Trust in repetition. Most people only trust what they can see. You trusted what you could feel in your actions. Silent progress feels uncomfortable because it removes control. You can't measure it. You can't speed it up. You can't show it to anyone. You can only continue. And that continuation changes your identity. You stop being someone who needs results to move. You become someone who moves regardless. That shift is dangerous because once results are no longer required for action, nothing can stop consistency. People often say, trust the process, but they don't explain what that really means. Trusting the process means staying when there's no reward, training when nothing looks different, working when no one notices, continuing when silence is the only response. That silence tests you. It asks one question: are you here for outcomes? Or are you here for commitment? You answered with action. Most people leave the silent phase and never come back. They never realize how close they were. You didn't leave. Progress often stacks invisibly. Small adaptations, tiny adjustments, subtle changes, none impressive on their own, but together, they create leaps. That's why breakthroughs feel sudden. They aren't sudden, they're delayed. You stayed long enough to reach that delay. Continuing without progress also removes desperation. You stop forcing outcomes. You stop chasing speed. You let time do its work. Time rewards those who don't rush it. This kind of patience builds mental mass. Not motivation, not excitement. Endurance. Endurance is what lasts. When novelty fades. When routines feel dull. When effort feels repetitive. Most people need stimulation to stay engaged. You learn to tolerate boredom. That tolerance is rare. Because boredom doesn't test strength. It tests commitment. And commitment is built in silence. When progress is silent, your mind will try to distract you. It will tell you you're behind, that you're wasting time, that others are moving faster. Comparison grows loud in silent phases. You didn't listen. You stayed focused on what you could control. Effort, consistency, presence. That focus kept you grounded. People think growth is visible because that's the only part they notice. They never see the quiet months, the repetitive weeks, the sessions that felt pointless. You lived there. And because you lived there, you developed something most never do. The ability to continue without encouragement. That ability transfers everywhere. Training, work, life. When things stall, you don't panic. When progress slows, you don't reset. When nothing seems to change, you stay calm. You've been here before. You know silence doesn't mean stop. That knowledge makes you resilient. Not emotionally, structurally. You don't need hype. You don't need validation. You don't need constant progress. You just need today. And today doesn't have to feel special. It just has to be done. One day, progress will show. Strength will be visible. Results will appear. And people will think you stayed motivated. They won't know the truth. You stayed disciplined. In silence. That's why your strength lasts. That's why your progress sticks. That's why you don't collapse. When growth slows again, you already know how to survive the quiet phase. So if today feels unchanged, continue. If this week feels flat, continue. If nothing looks different yet, continue. Not emotionally, not impatiently, just deliberately. Because strength is not built by constant progress. It's built by those who continue, even when progress is silent.